from a few of the great special interest videos from Scimitar Entertainment. All available now at any Musicland, Sam Goody, or Discount Record store. Pick up your pen and make a list. Scimitar Entertainment is about to show you a few of their best. Pick up your pen and make a list. Scimitar Entertainment is about to show you.
In an average week, the networks bring you 6 made-for-TV movies. Dull. 18 hours of sitcoms. Ditto. 35 hours of infomercials. Insane. 44 hours of soap opera. Very dull. 62 hours of reruns. I saw that. And 3.2 days of commercials. Now, it's payback time. Oh, what do you mean? You see, there are only 3 of them. You mean the networks? Yeah, the old-style networks, and they're fading away. But there are 30 million of us. Yeah, everyone with a camcorder and a VCR. And now we've got a powerful new weapon against blah, blah, blah vision. What's the new weapon? It's new software. Yeah. It's new hardware. Hey. It's the next generation of the most successful video tool of all time. A whole new video toaster. It'll be the end of blah, blah, blah television. The Video Toaster 4000.
Toaster 4000 takes the power away from the network and gives it to the people. With Toaster 4000, we can make television better than the networks, and we don't have to answer to anyone.
Not that far away, Nick.
It is.
No, it isn't.
It is. It's a lot farther than here. Come on, Kathy. We both know what's going to happen. Couples always.
All right, everybody. How you doing? Hold on, let me slam this shit home. Oh, turns out we're just gonna cut. All right, hey everybody. So this is gonna be a bit of a different stream, mostly because I really like this this hoodie, and it's got a bit of a problem. Also, I'm not on the clock, so I can make this explicit. The stitching kind of came off on the... So this is the Funhouse hoodie. It's really fucking comfortable, by the way. I really like it. I was going to use the hackery transition. It didn't work. But anyway, so the stitching came out. And it's in the most visible place, also the place of the most tension right here. So I'm going to stitch it up. I actually know how to sew. And I'm going to do that right now. This is a creative stream. We're going to be creative. I'm going to fucking fix this hoodie. I tend to be pretty brutalistic with my hems. Mostly because I like explicit stitching. Also because I like shit that, like, works. I like shit that lasts. I appreciate something that can survive more than a year or two. So here's kind of the situation. We got a pocket here, good pocket, but the stitching on the top came off. It's double stitched, but it was machine stitched, and like almost nearly when I got it, the stitching came apart. So Stephanie already took a swipe at it, and she did a great job, by the way. So she hit all the stitching, which is really smart of her, but it was an understitch, so it's like the lip is still kind of shoving down. Also, the stitches are starting to loosen up a little bit. So when I'm wearing it, there's a pretty obvious like bump here. Also, it's probably not going to last because the stitching around it's starting to come up a bit. So I'm basically going to stitch through and across where the stitch line is and try and get it. It's probably not going to be level, and it's probably going to look like shit because I'm not used to working with like this many layers of fabric. Also, this soft of fabric, so it's going to bunch up. It's going to look like garbage, and the stitches are going to look like staples because I'm not good at stitching, but I can put a needle through and up and through and up. So that's going to be what I do. I've already selected my thread. I tried to color match as best I could, and I've already threaded it because I wanted to make sure I could, because so there's like a magnum needle in there that has a really wide head. I didn't want to use that because it's just going to make big holes, and then it might loosen up again. So I have a smaller needle, and I wanted to make sure I've got really thick thread, so I wanted to make sure it fit, so I threaded it previously, but I'm going to do it again, just to prove that I can. Hey, Lucky Overlord. What's up, Brittany Beth? Yeah, stitching in red light. I thought about that. I can switch it to something that's not colored to make my job a little easier, and I probably will do that eventually, but for now, I will entertain with colored light and also just random video game music. So, hey JG, yeah, this is kind of an exception, but I really like this hoodie and I wanted to save it, so I'm gonna do that. Thanks for the resub, Brittany Beth. Hold on, I'm gonna turn that down. All right, so first order of business, I gotta thread my needle, pull out some thread. Cut the thread and make a knot. And boy, is that always a guessing game, because you can always get too much thread, but you can never get too little. All right. So I never properly learned to sew, but my mom taught me some essentials, and that's essentially all I've got. Are we gonna get a stitch cam? No, you have this, and that's it. I got one webcam. I'm no creative streamer, man. I'm not equipped for this. This is it. So the one imperative technique that my mom taught me when it comes to threading a needle is that you lick that shit. Gets all the frills to mat down. You get one narrow thing, and then you can kind of feed it through. Hold up. Fingers are too far away. I could have grabbed it, but I didn't. Alright. There we go. Also, we just got done watching Snow Buddies, I think, in The Office. There we go. Not so bad. You get a couple of fibers through, and then you can kind of use the meat of your fingers to feed it. I'm not equipped to provide any kind of instructional advice, and I don't know why I'm doing that. There are a number of streamers on Twitch, I'm sure, that are far more experienced, professional than I am. And here I am trying to be like, oh, this is how you thread a needle. Well, hey, whatever, man, it worked, didn't it? I should probably turn that music a little bit. This is really intense for sewing, but what you gonna do? The God of Threads. This is from God of War, apparently. Yeah, Jacob, this is a sewing stream. Excuse me, a sewing stream. That's probably good enough. So I'm gonna double thread, which is to say, I'm gonna double up the thread and then tie it so there's double thread running through every stitch. Like I said, very brutalistic when it comes to sewing. If there is such a thing as masculine sewing, that's what I do. When it comes to a fix, I want something that's gonna last forever. I want to bite it, but I'm fucking wearing Invisalign, so I can't. Fuck, no, it's not working. Alright. I gotta cheat. There we go. Alright. Now, again, when it comes to techniques that me mum passed down to me, you gotta tie a knot that's bigger and thicker than your needle and then your thread. And if you're just knotting thread, you can make a knot, but if it pops through, you're fucked. So, the 80 volume is so loud. Like the ads? So this is the technique as passed down by my dear sweet mother. She's still alive, by the way, so no RIPs just yet. Club King, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Alright. So I've got my 2 ends of thread here. Technique I was taught was, wrap it around your finger, and then you roll it down your finger. So it basically wraps the thread around multiple times, and then you tighten it out. It basically just bunches a lot of excess thread inside the knot, making the knot much bigger and thicker than your thread. Which means when you thread it through, it'll stick, as opposed to just popping on through. And then you're fucked. And if you pull it through from the other... So, again, brutalistic. I'm not saying this is pretty. I'm just saying it works. So here's my garbage knot. Sorry. I mean, it's not pretty, but it's thick enough to catch. That's kind of the point. And catch and stay. And if you thread it through from the underside first, the knot's facing inward, and no one's the wiser. Except for you, the person who stitched it. At this point being myself. So, now, here's my canvas. The stitching is basically pulled from here to here, which means I basically need to thread around here, which is where the stitches are still holding. I started training as a school bus driver. That is an interesting profession. Is this a drunk stream? Kind of, Loronic. It's good that you brought that up. So, I have just returned from a Funhouse screening of Snow Buddies, in which Bones mixed me up a couple of wonderful cocktails. I'm enjoying the effects of those right now. Also, I'm dieting, so imagine being on 1,600 calories a day, and 25% of that you just devoted to alcohol. You're going to be in a pretty warm place. So, yeah, every stream can be a drunk stream if you really want it to be. This sounds kind of Pee Wee Herman. A little Danny Elfman going on in this track. What is this? Psychonauts? Well, shit, man. I should have known that. So, factory stitching is fine. It's precise. My stitching is going to be nothing like that. Also, I'm doing it under a red light, which is not great. And the aforementioned Snow Buddies drinks. Sometimes it takes me a few stabs to get a good insertion point, if you will, but I feel pretty good about that. And Kale, what's going on with the stream today? I'm fixing a hoodie that I really like. So I'm going to be here, stitching like a madman, and I'm going to respond to chat in kind. Alright, so before stream, I was kind of debating what stitch I was going to go with. The easy, like, over, under. That's fine, but it looks a little too Disney, you know? Looks a little too Paper Mario, looks a little too homespun. So what I'm going to do, there's probably a name for this. I'm not a seamstress, seamer, whatever. A stitch over, come back under about halfway through that stitch up in the next one, come back under where you went through before. So you're leapfrogging half and half and half, but it's basically a solid stitch. So I want a solid line of stitching across here. Now my stitch line is going to be very visible, given that I'm doing like double thread, and each thread is also individually thicker than the factory stitch. So this is going to be a very visible, very brutalistic, very shitty stitch job, but I kind of like that. To me, there's something very charming about visible stitching. There's something very Hansel and Gretel about it. To me, that's a sign of something you want to keep in your life. So you, oh, MKL, I do not knit. This is not knitting. This is sewing, and shitty sewing at that. This is the most brutalistic, masculine sewing you'll ever see. So yeah, that's kind of the visible stitch right now. I don't know if that's, I mean red light, whatever. I put my lights on the Christmas tree set, so that's what I'm dealing with. But, as the stream title implies, here is the, A Stitch in Time saves 9. Also an upcoming Disney film, which doesn't have whole much to do with saying. Anyway, as the adage implies, if you prevent something early, you won't have to do much work later. So even though the seams are already separating, if I stitch it up now, I won't have to stitch up the entire pocket later. This is Paper Mario? I want to know which one this is from. Oh, Galaxy. Alright, well there you go. You play some Death Clock in the background for masculine sewing. This is pretty masculine, right? Just chilling. Yeah, Chorizo, I like these kind of streams. Thank Forever Zero HP. Thank you for the resub. So now here's the tricky part. Because, again, given how brutalistic I can be, my tendency when I was a lad and sewing was always to pull the thread as tight as I possibly could. But, you know, when you're dealing with soft fabric, it just makes it bunch up. And then you have a stitch that has a bunch of, like, ribs through it because you pulled all the stitches tight. So, shot? Hey, I didn't stab myself. What are you talking about? Are those the rules? I mean, I will poke I'm poking the needle through into my finger so I can stop it. But it's not me stabbing myself. I think I should have to, visibly react. Oh, shit! John Lemon. 2-month Prime sub. Hold on. Let me play you a track. Let me play you a track, because that's a sub hype. So, yeah. You can you're almost getting a sense for how intense and industrially brutal this stitch job is going to be. I don't know if you can see that. Again, red light. Not necessarily the best, but yeah, there you go. So you can see those overlaying stitches. It's going to be that the whole way across. I don't want this shit to fucking rip. I don't want it to slip, so I actually really like this hoodie. And I'm hoping that's earning me points back for saying that this shit fucking fell apart as soon as I bought it. But I wanted to... Or I didn't buy it either, by the way. Perk of being an A+ stream millionaire. A super C-tier YouTube celebrity. It turns out that I can get merch of my own brand for free. And also, it's not even my own. It turns out that... let's see here. I'm gonna sell 21st Century to Disney. Very conflicted about it. Not sure if it's good or bad. It's, welcome to cyberpunk future, man. Monolithic corporations own everything. Couldn't you request a new one? I don't want to. Have you ever spirit bonded with something? Sealed test? You're ever like, I really like this thing, and I want this thing to stick around, and I'm going to put in the time to keep this thing in my life. I've done that with a couple of things. Things that, like, had broken, and I could easily replace them, but I repaired them because I like that thing, and I wanted to keep that thing. So, that's kind of where I'm at. I really like this hoodie. It's actually super comfortable. And, thanks for the resub, Powerful Dragon. I don't know, I get kind of warm when I look at it. Established 2015, means I've been doing this for a while. Kind of bought into it. Bending is better than ending. Well said. Yeah, there's, I won't argue against the, you know, the time trade-off, the efficiency of buying something new. And we're kind of, I mean, it's America, you know, we're in a disposable culture. China makes everything really cheap. Sure, I could get another one, and if I were to put a dollar value to my time, it might be more efficient to do that, but, I don't know. I think you lose some emotion in life if you don't bond with items? I don't know. Given how thoroughly robotic I tend to be, I know how silly I sound saying that, but I think there's value in that. I think there's, I think it's okay to be sentimental about physical objects that have been in your life for a long time or that you had a good experience with. Hey, Ethan. Yep, you're 2 months away from your 2 years. Whoop, whoop. Underrated game soundtracks that you recommend. Going through YouTube, No More Heroes, which has God tier, yeah. Unreal Tournament 3. Listen to that shit. Drum to Pisco and Jesper Cade knocked it out of the goddamn park. Alright, I'm gonna play a track from, not that, the other one. There it is. To honor the recent announcement. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We're gonna go with that. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, John Lemon. Thank you for. I think honestly, 2 months in a row Twitch Prime is pretty impressive. I wouldn't expect to capture anyone's attention for more than about 20 minutes at a time. So the fact that you not only Twitch Prime subbed once, but also came back the next month and did it again, is impressive, and that means you deserve a song. So sorry, I was burping a little bit. Please enjoy this track because I like it a lot. It's actually about it. It's pretty short. But yeah, that's from the Mega Man 3 soundtrack. It's a reorchestration from Rush Jet 1. Very nice re-performance. Well, thank you, Zany Bars. Appreciate that. Someone who's asking... Oh, thank you, John Lemon. And congratulations, Grace, for passing all your exams. Semester 1 down. 7 more to go, theoretically. Someone was asking about the stream today. Yeah, that... So, it's funny, I got into the office early, because I was like, shit! Alright, let me turn the music back on, because today was a day. Yeah, so I got into the office early, because, part of the deal was we were playing on PS4, which is something we don't do. We're not equipped to do. No big deal, we'll figure it out, it's our job. So I got into the office and was like, fuck. Alright, Achievement Hunter... I contacted them yesterday and they're like, hey, how are we gonna voice chat? And they said, Skype or Discord. Fuck. Okay, so now we're voice chatting via PC. We're playing games via console. And I have to figure out how to get all of those audio streams volume balanced and out to YouTube. And also record those independently locally. Bit of a challenge, I figured it out. Got it working. I got to... The irony of ironies is I got to the office early to set up 3 PCs to do that, and I did. Roughly on time. But around... When we were about 30 minutes out from going live... No, I'm not sure of the time. I don't want to provide a timetable. Anyway. It's like, okay, let's all get into a lobby. Okay, great. Okay. Connection failed. Oh, that's not good. Alright, we'll try again. Connection failed. Fuck. Alright. You send me an invite. Alright, connection failed. Ooh. So I'm there, like, crunching away on audio leveling and stuff. And they're like, we can't even get in a lobby with these guys. So yeah, long story short, I can tell... There's not really much of a long one, I guess I already told that. But, for some reason, our network setup didn't allow us to connect to anybody. We were, like, at the point of calling in IT for the building. They were putting us on different routers. They were putting us on different, like, exposing us with no firewalls. Nothing fucking worked. But in one of the setups, one of the PS4s got through and was able to join the lobby. And it was James's. So we're like, oh! Okay. And we were already late. So we're like, this is, I mean, we're up against it. We gotta just go. And that was it. So, yeah. Oh, I know this shit. Legend of Zelda. Is purple light easier than red light? Not really, no. There's like less actual illumination. I mean, I'm stitching like gray cloth, so I guess any color is about the same. is it specifically your job to set up stream, or does everyone take turns doing that? MKL, it's kind of become my job just because I guess I have a knack for it. I'm pretty good at setting up computers. Or, I'm not good at setting up computers, I'm good at solving problems in a short time span. So when it comes to like a live streaming environment, or like anything that has like a time factor, where it's like we have to be live by now and these things have to be working by now, I'm pretty good at getting shit doing what I want it to in order. Just put on a real light. No, it wouldn't be a stream, would it? How am I going to stand out? Listen, all of the... So hold up. Was there a 2-year hype going on? Oh! Shit, Rat Attack got the 2-year. Adam is saying he's got 2 as well. I don't see the notification, though. I mean... What's up, though? What am I to believe here? Why is a Panda got that 2-month prime? Hold on, I gotta start. Okay. Adam has a 2-year, even though he had to cancel. Yeah, we'll play it out. Fuck it. Alright. That's okay. I can play songs. Hey man, if my evening is listening to music and playing music, that's a pretty good evening. You know? So yeah, I'm not sure what the fallout's going to be for that, of our technical breakdown. We'll see. Again, that's one of those, hey, that's the job. That's what you sign up for. And that's, in microcosm, that is, you don't play video games for a living. Man, if you think that's what I get paid for, woof. That is not it. Not even a little bit. Some people may be able to get away with that. Maybe the very charming, but certainly that is not my asset. No, I can make computers do what I need them to do. And sometimes that's what I get paid for. But the irony is that didn't matter today. Although I'm still going to say I was able to get chat, game audio, and James audio out to the stream. The bummer is I had that working for 3 computers, and that would have been pretty cool too. The slight problem is that Achievement Hunter is miles ahead of us in that, and we should copy their setup because they are very good at that. Streaming a lot of different perspectives, all with really good, balanced audio. Don't take that shit for granted, guys. That is hard work. So let me see here. Adam deserves a track. Let me get him one. I don't know if I've used this before. I really like this track, though. I haven't used it. Cool. So I'm gonna use it now. This is something like, man. Okay. All right, Adam. This is a meaningful song. Only to people who played video games like 10 years ago, faithfully. So I hope you enjoy it. I remember it reminded me of the ending track to The Fifth Element. Take that as you will. Yep, that is from Prince of Persia. That is the ending track to the ending of the trilogy. That is the final track to Two Thrones. And like, sounds awfully sandy, which is a pretty good summarization. That is some low bitrate shit, because I ripped that from a bonus CD that was given to me at GameStop. That's the only way I could get that fucking song. So that rip has lived from 2006, set on my hard drive, and then eventually uploaded to Google Play. And that is the vintage track you've been played. All right, Rudy. You deserve a track too, and I think I got a good one. Hold on, I'm trying to find a good intro. I don't like that. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. This is a bummer. I don't want this to seem... Fuck it, who cares? I think this is too obvious. Well, whatever, who cares? It's a fucking good track, so who cares? Thank you for all the subs. Please enjoy the track.
I got abs like man, so I don't feel like dancing. Fuck the blue man group, but give him more than a chance. Suck him up a little because I'm strong. If you got a seat when I put it on, walking with the flat bush, nothing but a thong. This is not a love song, my theme song. To a line, I'm on somebody lick at the curve. Like I got vitamin C, baby, you had a skirt. Turn me, you hurt. You wanna stick like weed, then hurt me. Let me take off my shirt. Baby, say fuck yeah. Baby, say fuck yeah. That's up to baby, say fuck yeah. I'm tired of waiting on you. Baby, say fuck yeah. Baby, say fuck yeah. That's up to baby, say fuck yeah. I'm tired of waiting on you.
Turn it to feel my loving. Think you better work it to feel my loving. Think you gotta turn it to feel my loving. Think you better work it to feel my loving.
Don't you be surprised what I fetishize. Let me describe. I'm moisturized, no Levi's, just fruit flies. Touch my updo, I cut you. My Mew Mew shoe, dodge doo-doo. Like Mucha, I suit ya. Fresh like Baja, raw like Shusha. Soy una pinche bruja.
Why take it with the back, so know that. What you find in the cups, so know that. Nothing but a compact disc and a Kodak. Know that.
God, it just goes right to 90s rave right away. Fucking love it. Yeah, Fierce is a good name for it. It's Scissor Sisters. I don't know. I fucking love that band. I don't want to be too on the nose. I don't know. All right, we got one more sub out to play. Wiser Panda. Man, this is some. All right. From like, I'll give y'all guys a history lesson. A vision of what could have been. There was a musical genre that was really alive. Well, it wasn't alive. There were like 4 bands, maybe. There was a musical genre that was at least existent from like 2004 to 2008 called future pop. And it was fucking rad. And it just kind of died. What you gonna do? But there was some good bands, there were some good sounds. And it just kind of faded. No one was interested. Alright, I'm gonna let this one rock for a bit. It's got a really long intro, but I don't care. Because it's good sound, man. Good mix. Solid warmth. Shit's gone. The LMFAO wave kind of bashed out square waves from EDM, to put it in that sense. Like there was a tingly warmth to electronic music that kind of faded away. It was then about harsh beats, really hard clacks, like percussion. Which I love too. I love percussion to death. But, man, synths can make the most wonderful, like, ear blanket. And I haven't heard that sound in a long time. So, this is the track for Wiser Panda. Mostly because I want to listen to it right now. So I hope you guys enjoy. Yeah. I've yet to see them live. I say them, it's probably like one dude. Oh boy, that was a hard shift, huh? Hold on, let me dial that back a smidge. More tracks for me to steal to pretend I have taste? Whatever, man. That's how taste is formed. What, you think people just found this shit in a cave? Think somebody, like, dog sledded into the Antarctic and chiseled it out of a wall? No, it's not theft, man. That's how this stuff is found. What do you think is better? It's getting delivered to you by recommendation engines? This is the ancient form of recommendation. You say the name of the track or no? I did not, so it's not easy to say. The track name is Weight of the World. That's easy enough. The band name is Apoptygma Berserk, which is, as legend has it, they just picked 2 dictionary words. I just pasted it in the chat. Yeah, this is Valkyrie Chronicles. So an apoptygma is as I remember, it's a Roman term for a fold in a robe. There you go. Powerful Dragon's got it, yeah. You're familiar, clearly. I haven't made any fucking progress on this stitch. I've been too busy rocking out. Man. But yeah. It's them, it's what is it? Assemblage 23, it's V&V Nation. KMFDM, kind of. No, they're more straight industrial. So yeah, there was a hot minute there where it's like, I thought that was the sound of the future. No one really glommed onto it. Instead, they kind of went hardstyle, which is weird because that sound already existed. Like the '90s already happened. I did not expect that to come back up. This is weird. Oh, music is funny. I was really fucking happy when we were in the like the Phil Collins wave off genre, but did you listen to Cake? Yeah, of course. I mean, I caught up, Fat Mike. I was not able to listen to Cake when they were contemporary. That was kind of true of a lot of bands. You know, growing up pre-internet in a small town does not expose you to a lot of culture. My library did not have like CDs for me to borrow or anything. Oh, I almost did the thing. See this shit right here? Oh, I already fucked up pretty significantly. I didn't pull a stitch. Haha. Well, maybe I can make up for it, but I almost threaded through previous threads. I was being too delicate. I should have pulled harder. Well, then I can fix this, maybe. This is going to take all of my dexterity, which I have very little of to begin with. We're at that point in life when you're like, you understand how fucked your stats are. I'm like, well shit, I didn't... Oh boy, I made an entire mess of this on the backside. I can probably pull most of it through and salvage it, but this is when you gotta do this little number. Come through and like thread the needle under your stitch and try and lift it up to pull out the slack that you should have already pulled through but didn't because you're shitty at stitching. All right. There we go. It's coming through now. So now the tricky part is, now that I have to pull through these stitches, I have to make sure I don't pull them so tight that it stretches the fabric unduly. And life is just for me at least, it's a series of slowly compensating for mistakes. This is the process of like going to sleep at night and being like, man, I was a kind of an accidental dick to that person today. I gotta go and apologize to them. That's pulling the stitches, man. Get them nice and tight. Gotta get your game lock tight. Math homework with headache is not fun. How's everybody else doing tonight? Well, take something. Take some Tylenol, take some Advil. That's what it's there for. Never trucked with this idea that, like, oh, I should tough it out. That's what modern science is for. Fuck me, what is this? Why is there still 2 huge loops on the backside? Man, I fucked this real hard. I don't even know what these are for. Oh boy. I have already destroyed this job. Terribly. I wasn't paying attention to the underside at all. I was just kind of blindly stitching and hoping for the best. I can fix this, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. The problem is, if there's excess thread, it'll eventually like work the stitch out, and then it'll just get really loose. You played The Witcher 3, yeah, a little bit. Not as much as I should. Okay. What is this? I still don't understand. Why is this so... Witcher 3 is fucking amazing. I haven't given it nearly the time or attention it deserves. Okay. Starting to pull it a little bit. I still don't understand. Man. Maybe I should... I'm gonna start over. I fucked it up too bad. Too badly. But hey, lesson learned. Pay attention to the underside and pull your stitches through. That's not so bad. At least I didn't get a long time into it. God damn it, this fucking music. This is just, bad memories of trying to do that fucking race over and over again. That's what seam rippers are for. But I don't have one. What's up, Safali? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm making a horrible hack job out of trying to hem my, or re-stitch my hoodie here. I got it so fucking mangled that I can't even pull the stitches back out. Well, hey. Yeah, so ident. God bless you, RP Gamers. So yeah, it's, I haven't stitched anything in a while. I remember hemming up some pants and like hoodies in college. That was a while ago, so I'm kind of accepting of any stitch rust that may be going on. Gotta work this shit out, man. Speaking of square waves, that's real farty. Kind of what I associate with it. A Sega Genesis sound chip. You know you've reached peak nerd when you can hear an EDM sample and know, oh, that came out of that chipset. Oh, Aladdin. Yeah, Genesis. Didn't even look. At least I have the good sense to not be proud of that sensibility. I just know that it's there. Sorry, I'm trying to extract the terrible stitch. But hey, for a first attempt, at least no lasting damage was done. That's something. Hey, Just Mexi. Welcome. Hit. Few loose threads. Those are kind of in there, which means they're not on themselves, which is never a good thing. There we go. Alright, clean. Yeah, no death speedrun sewing. All my runs are no death. Everybody knows that. The problem is if you start multiple times, you end up butchering your starting area, and then the threads are so separated that you can't get a good knot to hold. What you gonna do? Oh, Indie Boy? Listen to community on this channel? Gotta have a good enough connection to watch streams. Well, I'm glad you're here. Does this count as ASMR? I never thought my voice was ASMR appropriate. People have said that it is, so... Perhaps. Whoa! I just got a sweet idea. Also, holy shit, this fucking track is legit. Is this Magus? The Magus fight from Chrono Trigger? Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it is. Man, you want a fucking lesson on syncopation. This shit's legit. Imagine playing a... Like, what time signature is that? The measures alternate. They're not the same signature. And that's 4/4. It's not 6/8. It's almost 6/8. One of them is 6/8, but it's not both 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. One of them is 6/8. It's almost jig, but both measures are different. Oh, whatever. So yeah, it's dun 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 dun. So it's 4/4, except the measure cuts off like after the third half beat, and then it's jig 6/8 for 3.5 beats. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's, I don't know, man. Shit's fucked up. Count it out. You can't put a number to it, and it's not cyclical. Seven-eighths has its own feel? Polyrhythmic 4/4. Yeah? I mean, yeah. Falafel... I think you're right, but also I think polyrhythmic 4/4 can pretty much describe any jumble of rhythms that you want it to, which is kind of what this is. Oh, thank you, Fat Mike. Oh, you were in the dance video? That was a tough day, man. Very sweaty. I remember having to hit my jacket with an air dryer, or a hair dryer. I came in the morning and it was still fucking wet from the sweat from the day before. So, yeah, that's some shit. Okay. Also, given the progress of my stitching, I've been at this for an hour and I'm starting over. I'm bitching out. I'm not doing a double stitch. I'm just going in and out. I'm gonna do the Walt Disney stitch. What's this, Street Fighter 4? You think? Yeah. I was up for 29-ish hours before the shoot started? Why? What led to that? What led to that? Hopefully that wasn't related to the shoot itself. They didn't ask you to stay up that much, did? What even happened to your hoodie? I got it and the stitching came apart, so I'm trying to fix it. Or rather, I am fixing it. Power positive thinking. Also, this little stream insider. In future videos, when you see me wearing this hoodie, don't forget the underside. Thank you for the reminder. I'm doing a much less complicated stitch now, so I don't think it'll be an issue. I have not played the expansion, Pseudo Swag. I haven't played the Destiny expansion yet. Adam was asking about that at work. He was like, "Hey, if you're on tonight," I was like, "Yeah, I will be." But also, this has been kind of driving me crazy. So I'm gonna stitch up my hoodie. Yeah. Oh yeah. Bit of a. This is a fucking Twitch TV / Sir Lar exclusive. In the future, whenever you see this gaudy, like I said, staple-like stitch on my jacket, you'll know where it came from and what I was doing when at the origin of that stitch. This fucking hack-ass doodly stitch job. Nope, that's not in line. This is when it starts to get a little bonery. When I gotta make sure it's like even. And you can't see the other sides, you just gotta... I don't know, there's probably a better technique to this. I just kind of like shove the needle through until it gets roughly to the part where it looks even to me, and then I pull it. So I don't have to worry so much about the underside since I'm just doing an even in and out stitch. Try to get fancy and I paid the price. You gonna write a story about your stitch stream? Sure. Well, this is the kind of thing that would appear on Kotaku, right? Local gamer breaks molds. He taught us all that it's okay to do something a little different sometimes. Here's what yeah. That's the games journalist beat though, right? Find something in the games world and make it immediately about yourself. Here's what I felt watching this person. Jew Bear Pig says, how did you learn how to stitch? I don't know that I ever did, to be frank. I'm not good at it. But I can thread a needle and put that needle in and out of fabric. But truthfully, my mom taught me. Wasn't a whole lot going on in my childhood. Not a whole lot of like entertainment or events in my hometown. So I was bored. I did learn how to knit. I had, for a hot minute there, I had like a knitting crook and a ball of yarn that I'd carry around. I was working on a blanket. Didn't get very far, but it was fun. My childhood is littered with very, very inexpensive things that my parents would entertain. There is a connecting thread, pun intended, between all these things. So, I really liked video games. That was my number one thing. You know, shocker. This feels like Mitsuda. No, feels like Hitoshi Sakamoto. It's not though. Total Annihilation. Wow. I was gonna guess it was something from like Final Fantasy Tactics. Oh wait, no. We got brass coming in. Never mind. So yeah, my childhood was mostly paved with activities that cost almost no money and kept me occupied. And since I really liked video games, I also liked things that involved me using my hands. Anything really, but more like small motor skill things. So like putting together jigsaw puzzles, putting together model kits, sewing. It produced a similar effect, not quite the same, but I enjoyed it enough. And because it wasn't as expensive as video games, my parents were far more willing to entertain it. Also not quite as gender gap divergent, which was a bit of an issue too. Not quite as much. I gotta give my parents credit for that. They weren't as freaked out about it as they could have been. You're the next Bob Ross. Here's the thing, I'm not nearly as talented as or inspirational as Mr. Ross, and I think that will become apparent once you see the finished result of my stitching on this jacket. Chorizo, you're close, man, but that's not even a... What is that? Rooster Teeth fails to pay consecrated enough for clothes, must sue his old hoodie to stay warm during winter months. It's already too wordy for a good headline, but good on you for trying. Man, it's one thing I'd like to... So here's the... Not necessarily the problem, but the interesting side effect. So I got my over-under going a bit. Let's see if I can get a good read on this. It's kind of showing up there. Oh shit. Oh, it's time to get relaxed, y'all. So, like I said, the staple effect is kind of coming in, where it's just these like puncture hits of stitching, and it's also causing a sort of ribbing of the fabric because I have double thick fabric or double thick thread going through pretty light fabric, and it's if I'm pulling it taut under, because I am this time for real. Like there's no giant loops. It's sort of creating this like vertical pattern, which is not great. It's going to draw attention to it, but there was already attention drawn to it given that the seam was sort of falling out. But just so you all know, I was going to do the over-under, like the double back stitch, to basically make a straight line of stitching. It would be even more visible, but at least the fabric wouldn't bubble up like this. But as I've already demonstrated to myself, I don't have the requisite skill to do that. So instead this. Games cause violence, gamer steps close repeatedly. Getting there. No, it would... To spin a games journalism thought piece off this, you'd have to be much more introspective. It's like... the thread that binds. sewing in video games, some shit like that. It wouldn't be, like most games journalism, it wouldn't be an article written for the audience, it'd be an article written for the writer. Which is some shit that I have issue with, and have for a while. Kind of sick of the like, pinky out navel gaze of games journalism. They've sort of completely abandoned the idea that they're writing for the populace, and instead writing for the gaming erudite. Which, given, I don't know, it's hard to say that that's a bad approach, given that most people just like watch Let's Plays and stuff. I don't know, man. Oh shit! I got a real fucking backbeat kicking up now. Feeling that shit. I'm feeling it. Ooh, give me that hi-hat, baby. All right. Yeah, don't overwork it. We don't need that symbol in the whole time. Why is he so blue? My light's blue. The path is blue. The way is blue. I need to play Earthbound again. The happiest. That shit was real. The music plus the stitching is very appealing to my drunk ass. There's a majesty in. There's a term for it. It should even exist. It's called flow. This is why I play rhythm games. Doing something mundane and repetitive with your hands that you can express some amount of skill at. It's very, very meditative for the mind. At least this is what I read and this is what I experience. This is why people like gardening. Or washing dishes. I've always liked washing dishes. I read a review about a game not too long ago. It was written like a narrative story and was even separated into chapters, for fuck's sake. At the end I was like, but what about the game though? Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, it had like Roman numerals. I was like, man, fuck off. Fuck off. Properly fuck off. At that point it's almost an affront to the reader that you be that masturbatory about a fucking game review. It's not, this is not your time to be a narrative star. This is your job, is to tell the reader whether or not it's a good product. And you've made it your platform to be a fucking novelist. Fuck off! I don't know, that was my approach. I don't know, whatever, man. There's tons of reviewers out there, there's tons of reviews. The editor clearly thought it was a good idea. The writer really wanted to do it. Fine. Flap your little wings, games journalist, but Jesus Christ. It frustrates me when writers forget the audience. When it becomes so self-absorbed. It's like, oh, I have to impress other writers. I have to impress this, like, fucking small group of 200 people that I follow on Twitter with my article. What about all the people who want to know if they want to buy the game or not? Shit, man. These were issues I had even back when I was heavy into reviewing, is that most reviews weren't written for people who wanted to fucking know if it was a good game or not. It was written for, and it was just like, the garbage recycling of the same phrases. Is it polished? Ugh. Is it janky? You know a writer's shit when they start barfing back the same phrases they've written. The proliferation of the word draconic or draconian, like I think it was 2009, 2010. Everyone used that word because it was a smart word to use. Bleh. All right, I've basically gone through where the stitch had failed. So here, looks pretty solid. I mean, it looks. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like shit. But see, look at that. That is a crappy seam job right there. But you know what? Good enough for me. I did it, and I'll know I did it every time I put it on. Now it's time to tie the knot. And I never actually did figure out how to do this without bunching fabric. So, as near as I can tell, you stitch through and you stitch back close to where you stitched in. So there's a very small amount of fabric that's caught in the loop. Then you pull the loop, you loop the thread through multiple times, like rolling the knot down your finger. Pull it straight through, tighten it up as much as you can. Looks brand new at 720. Well, life is in 4K, baby. You can see all that shit. Alright. It works and is functional. That's all that matters. Well, Jensen... That's a very doodly way of looking at it, and I agree. But... there is an art to stitching. One that I'm clearly not very good at. And a good seamstress, seam person... can repair something and make it look new. This clearly does not look new. It looks patched. I think that's kind of charming myself, but there's a time and a place for charm, and sometimes skill trumps charm. Okay. Luckily, all my stitches are at least pulled tight on the backside. What is that? What are you? I think there's a past stitch. So, seam officer. There you go. So let's see here. Let me think of how to do this. So I need to basically make a loop that I can run my thread through to make a knot. So I gotta go back through. Make sure that I'm not... yeah, I gotta puncture through at least the double stitch here. Here we go. Game reviews are so subjective to begin with. Most journalism is these days anyway, regardless of whether or not it's games or politics. Before I switched my major from journalism to marketing, I spent a lot of time editing articles of my peers, and it scares me for the future of journalism. Some people are horrible at being objective and hiding biases. Yeah, well, I mean, theoretically, that's the whole point of journalism, is to teach you what your biases are, so you acknowledge them. You acknowledge them. Acknowledging them gives you an amount of power over them. It makes you able to acknowledge them to your audience. And that's the whole fucking point of journalism, is respecting the intelligence of the audience and giving them the information they need. And part of that is knowing, okay, here, it's divulging connections, it's divulging personal interest, I mean, proper news reporting is boring, but it should be. That's the point. It's to let the audience make up their own fucking mind about what's important. Alright, so now I got a loop on the backside and some excess thread. So, just wrap it multiple times, pull it through, and we'll see if this makes a good knot. Sometimes I'll double knot it, I'll pull it through again. So now I got this whole unholy abomination, but it's on the backside, so... country boys make do. And at least it didn't pull this fabric too tight on the other side, so... so now, I got this garbage knot, I'm going to capitalize on it by threading through it again and knotting it again. So, just going to run a thread under it. Because, I don't know, it's like there's so much loose thread in there. Shit. Did you have to start all over? No? What? By the way, speaking of country boys, I got a fucking good idea. I think I kind of want to cosplay BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein 2. It wouldn't be that hard, right? I gotta bleach my hair, crew cut it, get some like scars shaved into the side. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the gold neck though. I don't know how that works. If you're a boss, would you hire a little worse at the job but more enjoyable person, or the opposite? Well, see, it depends on the job. Had 537 moons in Mario? Am I sad, lonely, or a god? I don't know. You finished Darker Side yet? What are you making? I'm not making anything. I'm hemming a hoodie. All right. We got our knots tied off. We got our stitch done. Time to trim. There we go. And then I probably cut that way too close. I didn't give that knot any room to grow. We'll see if it all pulls through. Luckily it was a double, so if one side comes through, it's fine. Alright. And there we go. A shitty hack job of a stitch, but it'll keep it from like bowing out. Thing is, like, yeah, if you pull it, it looks okay. There's a bit of a nut there. Whatever, who cares? And now we have a working hoodie again. Just trying to, I'm yanking on it a little bit to distribute the tension of the fabric. There. Now my hoodie doesn't have a hole in it anymore. Just a little bit of a nut. Tiny bit of a nut. Yeah, we did it, Reddit. Alright, now I gotta put Stephanie's thread and needle back. Hopefully she won't get mad at me for using her shit without asking. You can sew? I wouldn't say that I could sew. I know how to tie a knot, and I can go over and under. It's the extent of it. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna use the bathroom. And I will be right back. So, see you guys soon. Wait, shit, this is from Final Fantasy? 10? Man. 10 was the game that convinced me that I didn't really care about Final Fantasy all that much anymore. Nomura! Came and went. Alright. I'll be back in a minute, guys. I'm gonna do it this time.
I'm sure there's a couple girls that'll be glad to hear it.
Oh, I'm sure there are. All right, I'll think about it.
Hey, I love you.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
Don't ask me.
So what's up? How you doing?
Fine.
And the horse?
Since when do you care?
Wait a minute, you two know each other.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, which is it, Kathy?
Kathy. Mm-hmm. Cat.
Come on, we're wasting his time.
Oh, no, you're not wasting my time. I'm just cooling.
Then you're wasting our time.
All right, I get it. Check this, though. If you need me, I'll be right over there.
She won't.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Oh, yeah, Cat. Words of wisdom. Drop that zero and get with the hero.
Excuse me?
See you later, Dick.
It's Nick.
Oh, yeah. Nick. What was that all about?
Forget him. I already have.
This week at the Internet Cafe, the hacker culture. Are they demons or saviors? Would you trust your files to this man? What is the cult of the dead cow? And why don't these guys use their real names? Plus free software, a cyberblast of 4 megabytes of cool stuff if you've got a TV modem. Hackers tonight at the Internet Cafe.
The Internet Cafe is made possible in part by Intel. One idea always leads to another. Now there are connected CD-ROMs that link rich multimedia with related information on the Internet. For connected CD-ROMs, it's the Intel Pentium processor.
Hi, and welcome to the Internet Cafe. I'm Stuart Chaffee. I'd like you to meet my friends Jane and Andrew. And we're here at a cyber cafe in San Francisco called CoffeeNet. And we're talking about hackers tonight. We're going to meet some hackers tonight. And it's kind of timely because we just read that some hackers got into the CIA's website. So it makes you really wonder if it's easy to break into and alter the homepage that's run by the Central Intelligence Agency. How safe is your company's website, your personal website, personal information that's out there on the net, your credit card, and that kind of stuff? It's kind of scary.
What are you doing, Inspector 12?
Mm-hmm. Comparing our new Hanes waistband with Fruit of the Loom, trainee. Here, pull it. Men know our Comfort Weave waistband fits better. For one thing, it's stronger.
Wow, is it?
Now pull Fruit of the Loom's band.
It's weaker.
Of course. It's no contest.
Hanes wins the battle of the bands.
That's why we put our name on it, kid.
Hanes fits better than Fruit of the Loom.
Can other long-distance companies offer you all AT&T can? Take a closer look.
Wrong number? I'll credit you for that call.
We'll set up an 800 number so you can dial Rome directly.
You can save by placing...
Imagine long distance without all this. Only AT&T has such an extensive network of professionals who can answer questions and suggest ways you can save money. AT&T Long Distance. For over 100 years, when you reached out, we were there. And you can keep it that way. AT&T, the right choice.
Red Lobster presents new seafood trios.
1, 2, 3, your favorites from the sea.
6 new seafood trios, all irresistible. And with half of them priced at $6.95, it's just
1, 2, 3.
like broiled Boston bluefish, succulent scallops, and sizzling shrimp scampi in one delicious dish. And even a kids trio at $1.95.
1, 2, 3, Red Lobster, free from the sea.
New seafood trios only for a few weeks, only at Red Lobster.
From the four corners of the world, it's the Smurfs like you've never seen them before in an all-new Smurf movie.
Smurf-a-rooney.
Smurf Quest, coming Saturday morning.
Oh, there's lasagna with ricotta, which I really love a lotta. Pizza with pepperoni.